Namashivaya. Today I am going to discuss Shiva Panchakshara Stotram in detail after the prayer. Tridalam Trigunakaram Trinetram Chatriyayudham Trijanma Papa Samharam Ekabilvam Shivarpanam. What is a Panchaksharam? Namashivaya is the Panchaksharam. It has a Panchakshara mean na-ma-shi-va-ya. In the Shiva Panchakshara Stotram, Adi Shankaracharya has expanded the 5 letters into 5 shlokas. In earlier times, the Panchaksharam was usually given as an Upadesha. Om is Bija mantra and is a Bija for all other Bija mantras. Om and Hrim are the 2 basic Bija mantras. Om is a Bija mantra for Shiva and Hrim is for Devi, as given in the Shastras. We cannot chant these Bija mantras without receiving Upadesha. Chanting Om is therefore not required for women. Men having gone through Upanayana and Upadesha can chant Om Namashivaya. Women can chant Namashivaya without Bija mantra Om. This is in accordance with the Shastras. Namashivaya, which everyone can chant, is a potential mantra. You do not need to add Om or anything else to make it more potent. If something is already sufficient for us, why aspire for something else? People take Upadesha for various mantras from various their desired gurus. This is not required when they already have the Gayatri mantra, which is the most important and the most potent mantra. Each of the letter na-ma-shi-va-ya has been assigned a sloka. Not only the whole 5-lettered mantra, but each letter in itself has a potency of getting the blessings of Lord Shiva. That is the teaching of the great Stotra. Let us start with Nagendraharaya Trilochanaya Basmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaraya Tasmai Nakaraya Namashivaya. Among the Namashivaya na letter, the word Indra, when used alone, refers to Devendra, the chief of gods. Nagendra is sometimes interpreted as Adisesha. Shiva is described as wearing Adisesha as a ring, garland, or an anklet. There are several descriptions of Adisesha and Shiva and of Vasuki and Shiva. Vasuki is a well-known name in the Puranas. Vasuki is the brother of Manasa Devi, who is the incarnation of Parashakti. Manasa Devi and her husband Jaratkaru were blessed by Shiva. Their son Astika stopped the Sarpa Yajna that was being performed by Janamejaya to avenge the death of his father King Parikshit due to the snake bite. Shiva has 3 eyes and hence is called Trilochanaya. He has the sun as his right eye, moon as the left eye, and fire as his third and center eye. Surya, Chandra and Agni are Pratyaksha Devatas. We can see them directly with our eyes, while we can only imagine the other Devatas. Thus, Pratyaksha Devatas are Shiva's eyes. The eye is the most important part of the human body. The Shastras say, Sarvendriyanam Nayanam Pradhanam. Without the eye, we cannot go anywhere. The most important part of the body is assigned to the sun, moon, and fire. The great Lord Shiva, who is immersed with Bhasma, the sacred ashes, also known as Vibhuti. The Shastras bring out the significance of Bhasma. The Shastras ask us to never be without Vibhuti. If I see anyone without Vibhuti on their forehead, I should take a bath because it is equivalent of visiting of Shmashana, says the Shastras. Wearing Vibhuti destroys all my sins. Vibhuti reminds me of Shiva and hence it brings me auspiciousness. Vibhuti gives us all enjoyments and final moksha. We have a certain time of birth and a certain time of death. Shiva has neither birth nor death. Nobody except Bhagavan can claim to be ever pure. Shiva, who wears the 8 directions as his garment, is called Digambaraya. This is to say, he has no upadhi and he has no attributes. He is free from all attributes. He is a consciousness incarnate. Consciousness is not his attribute, it is his nature. Bliss is his nature. He is Sat Chit Ananda. He is ever naked in that sense. Shiva, who is reflected in all his potency in the letter Na. In this shloka, the letter Na is represented by Nagendra Haraya. Ante, I prostrate to Shiva and also prostrate to the letter Na because the letter Na has the full potency of Shiva. No, second letter Ma. Mandakini salila chandana charchitaya Nandishvara pramatanada maheshwaraya Mandara pushpa bahu pushpa supujitaya Tasmai makaraya Namashivaya. One who is given an abhishekam with the waters of Ganga and who is anointed with sandal paste. Shiva is fond of abhisheka and is called Abhisheka Priya, just as Vishnu is fond of Alankara and is called Alankara Priya. We do abhisheka for Shiva with the Ganga waters. He is anointed with sandal paste. Sandal is one of 11 dravyas used in Rudrabhishekam. Nandi was born as a Brahmana boy, and because of his tapas, Shiva appeared before Nandi's father and said he would take his son, Nandi, as his vehicle. Nandi means always to be happy and in bliss. The worship of Nandi is a must and should before we worship Lord Shiva. The worship of Nandi gives us bliss, and when we go to Shiva temple, we are full of bliss and we have forgotten all our samsara worries. Shiva is the lord of the Pramatha group of Ganas. Pramatha is one of the groups of Rudra Ganas. There are various groups of attendants of Shiva. Even Bhutas and Pisachas are sometimes shown as his Ganas. Mantana means churning. Pramatha means troublesome. And Pramatha Ganas churn and torture us because of our sins. Sri Rudram describes what the various Rudraganas do to devotees and to sinners. In the Skanda Purana, there are occasions when the Devatas try to have an audience with Shiva in Kailasa, but Nandi stops them and would say to Devatas, "This is not the time for you to meet and have darshan of Shiva. Go back." This is Nandi's power. He is the one who allows you to have darshan of Shiva. Vishnu too was once stopped when he led the group of Devatas to Shiva at time when the Devatas were suffering at the hands of the Asura Surapadma. Surapadma, the Devatas wanted to have darshan with Shiva, to request him to marry Parvati so that Subramanya could be born to vanquish Surapadma. But Nandi did not allow them in, since it was not the right time yet. Surapadma was destined to have a long life, and the time had not come yet for his destruction. The one who is well worshipped with many flowers, such as the Mandara flowers. Mandara is one of the favorite flowers of Lord Shiva. The Arka and Drona flowers that are used in the worship of Lord Shiva, in addition to Bilva, which is a leaf. Bilva Dada. Dada means leaf. The one revealing in the glory of the letter Ma, and who is well worshipped. I prostrate to that Shiva, whose full potency is available in the letter Ma. In this shloka, letter Ma is represented by Mandakini river. Now, third letter, na-ma-shi. Let us see. Shivaya Gauri Vadanabja Brinda Suyaya Dakshadvaranashakaya Shri Nilakantaya Vrushadvajaya Tashmai Shikaraya na-ma-shi-va-ya. What better way to start a word with Shi than Shiva? The concept of Shiva includes Shambhu, who is auspiciousness. Shiva, who is auspicious, is the son to that lotus which is the face of Gauri. Just as the lotus blooms in the presence of the sun god, Gauri's face blooms in the presence of Lord Shiva. Vrinda is a group. Hence, Abja Vrinda is a group of lotuses. Why is the face of Gauri compared to a group of lotuses instead of one? Gauri personifies the entire creation. There can be no creation without Gauri. Without Gauri, who is Shakti? Shiva cannot create anything. Creation is manifold. Gauri's lotus face is seen in the manifold of the entire creation as many lotuses. Devi Mahatmyam says all women are the personification of Shakti. Hence, all women's faces are lotuses. Another way to interpret this is to see the face like a poet does and see it as several lotuses, such as lotus eyes, lotus forehead, lotus cheeks. In Kamba Combine describes Rama's form as a forest of lotuses. Tamarai Kadu. He describes the entire body parts of Rama, his feet, hands, thighs, forehead, cheeks and eyes, etc. Each as lotuses. So the face itself can be seen as a group of lotuses. The one who is the destroyer of Daksha Prajapati's yaga. Daksha Prajapati, the son of Brahma and father of Sati, in his arrogance, despises Shiva in the presence of Nandi during yaga conducted by Brahma. Nandi cursed Daksha that he would meet his death at the hands of Lord Shiva. Daksha later conducted a yaga without inviting Shiva. Shiva's consort, Sati, means Dakshayani, who was Daksha Putri, took permission from Shiva and attended Daksha's Yajna, Daksha Yajna. She was also disgraced by Daksha. She consigned her body to flames. Angered by this, Shiva plucked one of his hairs from hairlock and created Veerabhadra and Bhadrakali, who went to the yaga hall and dismembered many devatas and killed Daksha. At the plea of Brahman, Daksha's father Shiva, out of his compassion, brought Daksha back to life and gave him head of a goat. The lesson here is Shiva Ninda and Guru Ninda should never be tolerated. The Shastras explicitly say that if you are in a place where anyone criticizes the Guru or Shiva, pluck his tongue out without thinking twice. If you are incapable of doing so, go away from that place. The one who is blue-throated and who has a bull as the insignia on his flag, for the welfare of the world, Shiva consumed the Halahara poison that emerged when the ocean was churned by the Devatas and Asuras for getting Amrita, mean nectar. The prison that he held in his throat turned it into color blue. Then onwards, Shiva is called as a Neelakantha. Shiva has a bull both as his vehicle and in his flag. The Vahana and the flag's insignia can sometimes be the same. From a distance, you can see only the flag, and when you see the flag, you are reminded of Shiva. My prostration to that Shiva who manifests himself in the letter Shi. In the shloka, the letter Shi is represented by God. Vasishtha. Next letter 4, na-ma-shi-va. Vakara says like this. Vasishtha kumbhodbhava gautamarya munindra deva chita shekharaya chandrarka vaishwanara lochanaya tasmai vakaraya Namashivaya, Namashivaya. The one whose head is worshipped by sage Vasishtha, sage Agastya, sage Gautama, respectable great munis, and by Devas. Vasishtha is a great name in the Sanatana Dharma literature. He is the resplendent son of Brahman and the Purohita of Rama's dynasty, the Ikshvaku dynasty. Vasishtha, the Vasishtha says he chose to become a Purohita of the Ikshvaku dynasty from the very beginning of the Vamsha, starting with Manu, because as a Trikala Jnanin means one who knows the past, present, and future. He knew that Rama was going to appear in this Vamsha, and Rama being Paramatma, Vasishtha did not want to lose the chance of being a Purohita to Rama. There are 18 Smritis in the Sanatana Dharma, including Manusmriti and a Smriti authored by Vasishtha called Vasishtha Smriti. Agastya, born in a pot and hence known as Kumbhodbhava, was the son of Mitra and Varuna. Vasishtha and Agastya are considered brothers since Vasishtha once had to be born in a pot too. The story goes that Vishwamitra was cursed by Vishwamitra to lose his body, took pity on his son and gave him a body which was born in a pot to Mitra and Varuna. Vasishtha then regained all his glory and memory. Agastya is known for his numerous achievements, of one of them balancing the north and the south sides of the Vindhyas. Drawing Shiva's marriage, a big crowd gathered in the north of Indra, causing the northern Indian to sink. Agastya, though short in stature, came to the south of Vindhyas and established balance between the north and the south. He also brought down to conceit of the Vaihirnya Dhanvas. That was the conceit of the world, world jinn. He also brought down the conceit in heritage or in height, which he brought down. He is also known for bringing the Kaveri to the south in the Kamandalu, as directed by Shiva. Gautama was a great sage. Gautama, by his penance, brought down Godavari to the earth. Godavari is a great river equivalent to Ganga in her greatness. Godavari is also known as Gautama Ganga. Gautama was a devotee of Lord Shiva. The Mahabharata and Devi Bhagavatam describe his greatness. When the whole world was in famine, Gautama prayed to Gayatri Devi. She blessed him with an Akshaya Patram, and Gautama was able to feed the vast humanity. He is also the author of several works. He is also the author of Gautama Sruti. Muni's person, Gautama Manana. Their Manas is completely devoted to the meditation of Shiva, the one with moon, sun, and free his eyes. Surya is the giver of the life and is the bestower of food grains. Chandra bestows the essence of the food grains. Vaishwanara is Agni, and its importance has been described in Sloka 1, salutation to Shiva, that letter Ya. Yascha Swarupaya Jatadaraya Pinakahastaya Sanatanaya Jivyaya Devaya Digambaraya Tasmai Yakaraya Namashivaya. The one who is chipped in the form of a yaksha and who wears the jata. When he uses this dress, we usually know Shiva with a form, with matted tresses, with Ganga and serpents, and sometimes in the form of Ardhanarishwara. He uses his left half side Parvati. Now let us see how he is not able to convince him. First interpretation is that there are 7 slokas above the earth. Between the earth and Swarga Loka is an intermediate Antariksha region called Bhuvarloka. Here reside the distinguished like the Yakshas. They are all called demigods, Kinnaras and Gandharvas. The lead of the Yaksha is Kubera. Kubera is dubbed Shiva. Kubera is a little change only, otherwise both are the same. Shiva, who is fond of all his devotees, devoid of any favoritism, was fond of Kubera. Kubera performed great tapas to attain Shiva. Shiva was extremely pleased and gave a corner of Kailasa to Kubera. A Yaksha who can only live in Bhuvarloka, not even in the Swargaloka, was seen in various directions. Kubera is in charge of Navanidhi, him as the custodian of wealth. We see how Shiva gave Kubera wealth and a status of a friend. Therefore, Shiva is a Yaksha Swarupa. Shiva represented by Kubera in all his glory. Another interpretation for Shiva as the Yaksha Swarupa is from a story in Kenopanishad and Devi Bhagavatam. The Devatas were very pleased with their victory over the answers. They celebrate their victory is Amaravati, which is India's Assembly Hall. While there was nothing wrong with the celebration, if soon went Devatas out of boundaries, with the Devatas' pride increasing that they had won the battle out of their own strength. Devi wanted to her trade to teach them a lesson. Shiva is the stretch all the directions. All creation is contained or in the directions. Hence, Shiva is the overlord of the entire creations and is the culture creating, and he is subtle, just as the sky is subtle. He is called as Chidambaram. Shiva as the envelope of compassiously or consciousness in envelop the entire creation. Panchaksharamidam punyo yaha patet Shiva sannidau Shivalokam avapnoti Sivena sahamodate. The one who reads this meritorious Panchakam Stotra in the Sannidhi of Lord Shiva attains Shivaloka Prapti at the end of his known life and enjoys the bliss of those stories, life and crisis. Shiva sends his Vimana with Rudraganas, and who take the Shiva Bhakta in the Vimana to Kailasa. This Phalashruti can be applied to army of the the four types of moksha. For the highest type of moksha, which is Sayujyam. This sloka can be chanted anywhere in India, 108 Divya Deshas. And for the highest type of moksha, for example, the 14 types of moksha, first the highest type of moksha, for the highest type of moksha interpreted as becoming an industrialized part of the Shiva, enjoy all the bliss Lord Shiva. Om Shri Kanta Kalyana Nidhe Nidhe Shri Venkateswara Srinivasaya Mangalam Mangaladhar Madacharyya Prabhu Sarvaya Chaudhaya Acharya Satpudaya Astamangalam.